Hello, everyone. This is your classmate, Michael Burkett, for IL 703 Digital Age Leadership. We were to choose a topic related to digital citizenship to be shared with faculty or other appropriate groups. I actually chose two topics. First, how to set up an online shared community for modeling appropriate social media posts, as well as how to do online professional development. And then included in that, I have an example of what a focus topic or professional development topic might be. Why is it important for us to know about the technology standard for instructional leaders? Well, here in Alabama, Section 2, Parts 3 and 4, as you can see circled, administrators are supposed to model the use of technology for personal and professional productivity and develop an effective teacher professional development plan to increase technology usage to support curriculum-based integration practices. And of course, we see our curriculum moving more and more digital as we move forward. As far as the ITSA administrator standards, it's Standard 5 for digital citizenship, and Part C, promote and model responsible social interactions related to the use of technology and information. The ITS Administrator Standard 5 reads, promote responsible use of the internet. Administrators must also ensure all students learn how to be good citizens of the digital age. Digital citizenship refers to the behavior, knowledge, and skills that people should demonstrate when interacting with digital tools. Children, and for us students, cannot become digital citizens without adult guidance. Although they are often very comfortable using technology, they still need help from their teachers to understand the regulations and safety concerns when using the internet. So, sticking with its Administrator Standard 5, how should an instructional leader promote digital leadership? Well, here at the bottom of the page, you see they're going to look at three different approaches from three different principles. Each principle has gone about differently improving teacher knowledge of digital citizenship. You have principle 1, principle 2, and principle 3. On the far left, you see the standard educational administrators model and facilitate understanding of social, ethical, and legal issues and responsibilities related to an evolving digital culture. In the first approach, it's very top down. The first principal decided he was just going to have a faculty meeting and he was going to relay the information to the teachers and talk about what websites were banned and what they should or should not post as far as teachers or students. And that's not the way we want to handle it. The second principle almost gets it right. Not only does he have an annual faculty meeting, but he also has interactive activities during the professional development. He also has expert guest speakers on the topics. And so that almost completes the puzzle, but there's just a piece missing. So if you look at the third principle, he does everything the second principle did, but added this. The teachers use school issued laptops to connect to a shared online community where they post digital citizenship resources and ideas. They're required to interact with one another, a lot like we do here at the University of North Alabama with these online classes. This, of course, is the GOAT, or the greatest of all time answer. It's Administrator Standard 5, sticking with it. You see at the top, we have just a short version of the previous screen. The first principal just held a meeting and had a top-down type professional development session. Then the partial principle, the second principle, had professional development, brought in experts, interactive activities, but something was missing. And then, of course, the third did exactly what we're looking for. Standard 5 Part C says promote and model responsible social interactions related to the use of technology and information. So the first principle, that was not addressed at all. The initiative bans interactions related to the use of technology and information instead of the teachers modeling it, or the administrator modeling it. The second way partially addressed it by working with teachers to meet the standards and approached responsible social media interactions, but there was no modeling there. So again, the piece of the puzzle is missing. And of course, the third principle hit the nail on the head. The principal can model and promote good digital citizenship as he posts resources to the online community. It's an ongoing training initiative. It's not one meeting per year, it's every day of the year. And of course, that was the GOAT. What is a shared online community? There's a couple of options, but I think what would be best for this particular scenario is to set up a Google Classroom. The administrator could create assignments, create polls, post examples of appropriate digital citizenship, also could post related articles and things like that. So I think that the Google Classroom is the best. Here's an example of a Google Classroom homepage that I created specifically for this class. You can see at the very top, I named the high school UNA High School. And this page was called the Digital Citizenship Community for Faculty Only. The only thing that a faculty member would need to join this page is the class code, which you see there. So you would give, as the administrator, you would give the classroom teacher the code and they could join. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. You also see here on the homepage, the news feed, a couple of posts that I've put on here. I have an example of what's not okay. I remind the teachers, you need to ask yourself, is this good for students? And if the answer is no, then you should not post whatever it is. You can also see there is an assignment here in the middle of the page, created an assignment. When is it okay to talk about a student's parents? And that would be an assignment that the teachers would complete as a part of the PD. So how can you create a Google Classroom? Well, first, if you're like me and you don't have a school email right now because I'm in between classes, I went into my regular Gmail and just typed in Google at the top, classroom.google.com, and it brought me to this screen. Then I went over to the right side of the screen and I clicked on the grayed out X that you see circled. You have two options. Join the class. You could use the code from the previous screen, or you can create a class. So we're going to click on create a class and it brings us to this page. As you can see, I've already got it filled in. UNA High School Digital Citizenship Community for Faculty Only. Click on create and you will see this screen pop up. Of course, when you first create it, you won't have the comments that I have here. So this week's UNA High School Digital Community Focus will be Twitter and FERPA regulations as well as appropriate speech. Although teens use social media heavily, many freely post sensitive personal information. They post everything about their lives. We as teachers have got to be careful about how we use social media in the classroom. Because the use of digital media is not specifically mentioned in FERPA, teachers have got to be careful to ensure that you don't violate any FERPA rules. If a student tweets to a professor or a teacher, is that protected under FERPA? No, because the student initiated a public conversation. However, if a teacher publicly tweets back to the student in response, is that protected by FERPA? And as long as the teacher does not discuss a grade or any other FERPA protected data, then there should not be any compliance issues. However, be careful what you post on social media concerning your students. An appropriate post, what should we put on there or share on Twitter? It's never appropriate to mention a student by name. Intentions do not matter. In this example, the coach thought that he could help other students by explaining how important friends can be in students' lives. The old birds of a feather flock together. Tanya Willingham is dropping out of school. Sad. She was in the top 10. Be careful who you hang around, kids. And of course, I tagged it as a chat. That's a big no-no. We mentioned the student. We mentioned the student's no longer going to our school. That's a privacy violation. Now, this particular example is not breaking any FERPA laws, but it's just kind of creepy. From a principal, I got catcalled by the church youth group girls, still got it. So he wants to brag that he's still physically attractive. This is just creepy and inappropriate and should not be a part of what you post on social media. This next example isn't breaking any FERPA laws and it's not creepy, but it's certainly misogynistic, rude. Therefore, it's inappropriate. Yeah, I wish I had anything in my life that was as passionate about as a divorced woman is about vacation Bible school. No, 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 don't do that. This tweet's from my personal account. You have the rest of your life to work, date, hunt, fish, and chill. You only get 3 or 4 years to compete. You can be cool later. Compete while you still can. This is acceptable. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Here are my references. Have a great afternoon or night.